so I'm using this fancy mic. It's new and I don't know if it's actually working. I'm at my mum's place in London, and I got back from a Christian wellness conference about 2 hours ago, and I spoke on the topic of ADHD. So I wanted to talk about one of the quotes I put in my talk, and it was a quote from the author and ADHD coach called Tracy Otsuka. So she says, the wrong environment makes ADHD look like chaos. The right one makes it look like genius. Same brain, different soil. And this quote just was so, profound for me, because I think about a lot of my work situations have simply not been right for me. The trend for a lot of my experiences previous to my diagnosis was that they were toxic. So it might be a great project, but the management wasn't great, or it might be a great manager, but the team were toxic. Sometimes the variables just weren't happening. And right now, after having my diagnosis, I'm just really making a concerted effort to ensure that whatever workspace I'm going to be entering, it has to really be the best for my ADHD way of thinking, working, etc. Now, you won't know until you get into the environment, but I want to do as much, assessing and reviewing up front to place myself in the right places. I think a lot of the time I'd be in a work situation and feel like I'm not thriving here. I know my stuff. I enjoy the stuff. We're making a great project. This ain't it. There's something that's just not working. Obviously at the time I didn't realize it was my ADHD, but now I know. I just think, okay, you know what? I've got to try my best to avoid places where there's no real empathy from the top, where there's no real compassion. I talk a lot also about neuro-inclusive workspaces as well, which is a fairly newish concept. But yeah, I think for you, if you have ADHD, how do you go about this? Do you feel like you're quite conscious about where you work, or can you work anywhere? I feel like neurotypicals, they can handle it better. Maybe I could be wrong, but depending on the level of toxicity, for example. But often you're told, "Oh, just get thick skin." But I have struggled with rejection sensitive dysphoria at work mainly. And I didn't know what it was until after my diagnosis. So for those who don't know, rejection sensitive dysphoria is the kind of emotional pain or overwhelming sense of shame or withdrawal as a result of real or perceived rejection, criticism, or failure. And I've had this since I was at art college in my teens, and I've never been able to explain the feelings until whilst I was researching my newly diagnosed ADHD. I saw this thing, RSD, and thought, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what I've been experiencing all this time, this cloud, this heaviness. And yes, I experienced it during my education, but mainly, I've had bouts of it in work. And that's why I just want to make sure that I am in the right soil, for my ADHD brain. So I want to encourage you to do the same. You want to be somewhere where you are able to thrive. Your genius is seen, you're able to be yourself, and you're accepted by your teammates, your management. So I think it's something to take seriously if you have ADHD. Alrighty, I would love to know your thoughts on this, and I'll probably discuss it more, given that October is ADHD month, and this is the month I was diagnosed 3 years ago